Part 167. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1661. The immortal killing sword is the same as the immortal killing sword. When my hand touched the immortal killing sword, a terrifying aura erupted from the sword. This breath almost shattered my internal organs. I clutched the immortal killing sword tightly and refused to let go. At this moment, a thick bloody mist suddenly emerged from the sword of the immortal killing sword. This is evil. The endless and rich evil spirit enveloped me, and this evil spirit penetrated the width of the Jinglian phantom like needles and pierced my body. I mobilized all the dragon energy in my body to resist the evil spirit. But the effect was not good. Just when I was at a loss, the scene in front of me suddenly changed, and the endless blood mist disappeared without a trace. I was slightly startled and instantly understood what was going on. I had entered a similar spiritual world when I controlled the immortal killing sword before. It seems that I can take this opportunity to completely control the immortal killing sword. I looked around and was completely shocked by the scene in front of me. Everywhere I looked there were rotting corpses, and the air was filled with a disgusting stench. At this moment, I was standing on a hill where corpses were piled up. The whole world is like a huge swamp of rotting corpses. Could it be that these corpses should all be people who died under the immortal killing sword? But how should I conquer the immortal killing sword intent? I tried to take a step forward, but as soon as I took a step forward, the mountain of corpses collapsed at my feet. I slipped directly from the mountain of corpses and fell heavily into the rotting bodies. The corpses were so rotten that they were like mud, and the stench almost made me vomit. I struggled to stand up and found that the body was like a swamp. The more I moved, the deeper I sank. I looked around and found a place where the body was less decomposed. I used Nine Eyes' heavenly domain and disappeared directly. When I reappeared, I was already in that area. I stood there and dared not move for fear of falling into a swamp of corpses. At this time, I suddenly found a place flashing with a dazzling red light. That place is not far from me, and I can use the power of the Nine Eyes Heaven realm to transfer there. I disappeared and came to the place where the red light was flashing. The red light flashes in the middle of the corpse swamp. That red light gave me a very familiar feeling. Could it be the immortal killing sword intent? But, wanting to get close to the killing immortal sword intent means that I have to dive into the corpse swamp. The stench of this corpse is extremely bad. If it gets sticky, I don't know if I can hold on. I thought for a moment and finally made the decision to dive into the corpse swamp. I took a deep breath, held my breath and jumped directly into the swamp of corpses. The corpse swamp is just like an ordinary swamp. Once you enter, you will dive quickly. Although I cover my mouth and nose, the corpse odor still penetrates my nose crazily. And as I dive faster, the pressure around me increases, as if there is a big mountain pressing on me. This strong pressure almost crushed my body. This is not over yet, there is still a strong evil spirit surrounding me, and these evil spirits are all pervasive and crazily burrowing into my body. My consciousness began to gradually blur what I wanted to do, but I found that I couldn't cope with the situation in front of me. At this time, I suddenly thought of Su Tianxian. Wait, I seem to have overlooked something. Su Tianxian and I have already had sex. She told me before that her strength has been passed on to me. Since then, she and I have been connected by blood. Su Tianxian has a pure bloodline that surpasses Nuwa. In this case, can I also use the divine light of creation that Su Tianxian used before? Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1662. The divine light of creation is Nuwa's secret skill. It can reveal the power of creation and be used to heal wounds and create things. It is very powerful. Su Tianxian used the divine light of creation to protect Miao Fengluan's name before. The reason why I thought of the divine light of creation is because the divine light of creation has the effect of purifying all things. This purification ability is even more powerful than pure lotus. I am in a swamp of corpses. The evil spirit here is extremely strong. Jinglian alone cannot solve the predicament at hand. Over time, I will definitely die here. Thinking of this, I kept praying in my heart that I must use the divine light of creation. Any spell, talisman, or array used must be accompanied by the corresponding spell. The divine light of creation is no exception. I must know the spell of the divine light of creation before I can cast it. I have long known the spell that created the divine light. After all, the memory of Emperor Zaiwei is gradually awakening, my strength is also growing, and there are many more spells, talismans, and magic circles in my mind. Thinking of this, I used the last bit of strength to squeeze the secret with both hands and silently recited the secret to create the divine light in my heart. With the movements of my hands and the frequency of chanting the mantra in my heart, I felt that my body was instantly filled with a warm current. The warm current traveled through my body and finally cooled down, just like a mountain stream slowly flowing through my heart. This gradually restored my chaotic consciousness. Suddenly, my whole body suddenly burst into dazzling white light. This white light is extremely holy, and the surrounding strong evil spirit instantly hesitates and dissipates like a tide when it comes into contact with the white light. Moreover, the stench of the rotting corpses around them was disappearing. I recovered a little strength, and I quickly moved towards the blood-red light I saw before. The corpses in the corpse swamp had rotted into flesh, and there was no complete corpse in sight at all. With the divine light of creation protecting me, I traveled unimpeded in the corpse swamp, and soon arrived at the place where the blood-red light was. The place where the red light is located forms a small space alone, without any rotten flesh around it. I looked intently at the red light, and saw that the red light condensed into the shape of a blood-red sword in the air. I could tell at a glance that this was the immortal killing sword intent. As long as I can master the immortal killing sword intent, I can successfully control the immortal killing sword. However, before I even got close to the killing immortal sword intent, I was forced back by the strong evil aura it exuded. Unexpectedly, even with the divine light protecting me, I still couldn't get close to the immortal killing sword intent. This should not be a problem with the divine light of creation but with me. After all, since I don't have pure Nuwa bloodline, the divine light of creation must not be that strong. However, the immortal killing sword intent is right in front of me, and I cannot take a step back. As long as I can master the immortal killing sword intent, I can go to the sky coffin with Sudaji. After arriving at the sky coffin, as long as I can complete the tasks Sudaji has given me, I can gain the demonic power of all the fox demons in the fox clan. My strength will definitely be further enhanced. After Sudaji is done here, I will find a way to obtain the god list and the god whip, and then find a way to leave here. If I can leave here alive, I will definitely go find Huo Kyubing. Only when Huo Kyubing returns to the palace can I go to the last level of the sky coffin. In this way, I can see what kind of monster is on the last level of the sky coffin. Thinking of this, I no longer hesitate to attack the immortal killing sword intent with the evil aura emitted by it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1663. Even with the divine light of creation protecting me, I still can't resist the evil aura emitted by the immortal killing sword intent. I felt like every inch of my skin was being burned by evil spirits, and my limbs were in extreme pain. I gritted my teeth and persisted. If I couldn't hold on at this time, all my previous efforts would be in vain. The immortal killing sword intent began to spread out and penetrate into my body. The pain I was suffering at this moment was huge. I felt like there were countless needles piercing my skin, and it was like there were countless giant hammers hitting my bones. I don't know how long it took, but just when I was about to be tortured and comatose to death by the evil spirit, the pain in my body suddenly disappeared without a trace. A golden light flashed in front of my eyes, and then my body fell heavily to the ground. I was thrown so badly that it took me a long time to recover. I struggled to stand up and felt as if I was holding something in my hand. I looked at my right hand and felt happy for a moment. The immortal killing sword is in my hand. I succeeded. I am overjoyed. He quickly stood up and looked carefully at the immortal killing sword in his hand. After all, the forging process of the divine sword is perfect. I took off the sword box behind me and put the immortal killing sword and the immortal killing sword inside. With my worries settled, I picked up the sword box and looked around, and found that Ruo Shui and Wanling Ancient Yi had disappeared. What was going on? I didn't have time to think too much, so I returned here the way I came, and it was not advisable to stay here for a long time. There should be a Suanwu divine beast guarding the slaughter immortal section. I really don't want to conflict with the Suanwu divine beast. Because of the huge size of these mythical beasts, I was like a small shrimp in front of them. Just when I was about to leave, the entire Yugzi glazed lamp began to shake violently, and the entire room began to tilt at 90 degrees. I had no place to stay and slid straight towards the window. There was a crash. I smashed through the window. I quickly reached out and grabbed the window frame and lifted it in mid-air. I looked at the abyss below and felt a little scared. If I fell into it, I would probably die on the spot. Actually, it's not necessarily that I have the Nine Eyes Heaven realm that can alleviate the impact of landing, etc. I seemed to see two bright lights in the abyss. I looked carefully towards the abyss and found that there were two bright lights not far away. The two bright lights gradually grew larger, and finally became extremely oval. Then, what is that? Eyes. Just when I was confused, the Yugzi glazed lamp began to get smaller quickly, and the light it emitted became brighter and brighter, directly illuminating the entire abyss. I looked down into the abyss with the bright light. I saw a huge thing hidden in the darkness directly below the abyss. The light of the Yugzi glazed lamp slowly dispelled the darkness, and the big guy slowly revealed his true appearance. That's a tortoise. Pooh. No, it's a turtle, but this turtle is all black, has a long dragon's neck, a snake's tail, and a giant python coiled around the turtle's body. I sighed slightly, and what was supposed to come would still come, and I couldn't avoid it. Moreover, I also found that Suanwu seemed to be carrying something on his back. When I looked carefully, it turned out to be a coffin. The coffin seemed to be engraved with the image of a fox demon. Suanwu carries a coffin. Could it be that that coffin is the passage leading to the sky coffin? There are two ways to enter the sky coffin, one is through the coffin, and the other is through a specific passage. No wonder Sudaji said she wanted to enter the heavenly coffin in the immortal slaughter section. It turns out the passage is here. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1664. Now we must find a way to destroy Suanwu. I can't enter the coffin without Suanwu. Suddenly, the jade-like glazed lamp on the side suddenly turned into a golden light and flew towards Suanwu beneath him. At the same time, I lost my point of focus and fell directly towards the abyss. I cast Nine Eyes Heavenly Domain and planned to land on Suanwu's back. This Suanwu is huge, looking like a big mountain at first glance, and its back is a good place to stand. Just when I was still 7 or 8 meters away from Suanwu, I borrowed the power of the Nine Eyes Heaven realm to disappear from the place, and when I reappeared, I landed firmly on Suanwu's back. It is difficult to kill Suanwu. This guy is thick-skinned, and any attack will probably be ineffective. The moment I landed on Suanwu's back, Suanwu let out a low roar, and then his huge body began to shake. I haven't dealt with Suanwu for the time being, because this guy is too big and not that sensitive. Besides, I am on top of him, and he can't throw me off like a blue dragon. I walked towards the coffin. Soon, I came to the coffin. This coffin was blood red with fox patterns carved on it. In addition, the coffin was also very huge, like a large truck. I stood on the coffin. It looks very small next to it. And I also found a lamp hanging right in front of the coffin. At a glance, I recognized this lamp as the Yugzi glazed lamp. The Yugzi glazed lamp is the lamp that illuminates Yuanqi Tianzun during his lectures. This Yuanqi Tianzun is really powerful. A single lighting lamp can be so powerful. When I looked directly above the coffin and planned to use the Nine Eyes Heavenly Realm to take a look, a chill suddenly rose from my back. This chill made my limbs feel a little stiff. Sizzling. There was a sizzling sound from behind, like a snake spitting out its seeds. Wait, I seem to have forgotten something. I just saw a big snake wrapped around Suanwu's back, but when I came to Suanwu's back, I forgot about it. Legend has it that the snake on Suanwu's back is called Tang Snake. Tang Snake, also known as Tang Snake, is a flying snake in Han folklore. In Si Xianfu written by Zhang Heng, there is a basalt trunk in its shell, and a tan snake twisting and correcting itself. To put it simply, soaring snake and divine turtle complement each other. Only when these two guys come together can they be called Suanwu. Moreover, the soaring snake and the divine turtle were inseparable. Well, how can I put it? They were like a couple, cleaning barnacles and other things for the divine turtle when they had nothing to do. Of course, this was a joke. I turned around suddenly and saw a huge snake head coming into my eyes. And this snake has already opened its bloody mouth and plans to swallow me secretly. How cunning! I quickly used Nine Eyes Heavenly Domain to escape from here. As soon as it disappeared, the soaring snake bit me where I was before. There was a loud bang. The entire abyss began to shake violently. I stood on the huge coffin and looked at the snake carefully. The soaring snake has a long and winding body, with a dragon head, dragon scales, and dragon claws. Its body is covered with patterns of clouds or flames, and it looks extremely sacred. I looked at soaring snake solemnly, and soaring snake was also looking at me, its eyes full of vigilance. It opened its bloody mouth and roared, and the huge air wave almost blew me over. Oh shit! This Tengshi's tone is too loud. And the saliva almost sprayed on my face. I took off the sword box from my back and took out the immortal killing sword. I just took this opportunity to test the power of the immortal killing sword. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1665. I stretched out my hand and slowly held the immortal killing sword in my hand. When my hand touched the immortal killing sword, I instantly felt an amazing power. Moreover, I also discovered that the immortal killing sword was frantically absorbing the profound energy in my body. It seems that whether it is the immortal killing sword or the immortal killing sword, if you want to use them, you must pay some price. The soaring snake leaned down and attacked me with its huge snake head. My face hardened, I raised my immortal killing sword high and slashed at soaring snake. A blood-red sword energy burst through the air. The blood-red sword energy was overwhelming, and it quickly attacked soaring snake with the power to cut off all things. Soaring snake seemed to feel the threat, fear flashed in its huge eyes, and it quickly shook her huge body to dodge. The speed of the sword energy was too fast. Even if Tengshi reacted, she was scratched by the sword energy. A large piece of its jet black scales was cut off directly, and blood flowed out, which was very shocking. I was also shocked by the strength displayed by the immortal killing sword. The black scales on soaring snake's body look very hard, and soaring snake is also a divine beast. The standard equipment of a divine beast is at least invulnerable. The immortal killing sword broke through the defense of the divine beast with just one strike. Tengshi was very afraid of the immortal killing sword in my hand, and it quickly distanced itself from me. It seemed that he was not a fool and knew how to avoid its sharp edges, but I would not give him this chance. I raised my immortal killing sword in my hand and swung two swords here. Because Soaring Snake was on guard, he dodged these two swords with narrowly missed attacks. But swinging these two swords was like killing me. The profound energy in my body was flowing crazily. It seemed that having 4 divine swords did not mean that I could use them. If I collect all 4 divine swords, I probably won't be able to directly use the immortal killing formation. After all, these 4 divine swords are extremely powerful. If I want to successfully use the immortal killing formation, I probably have to wait for the power that Boyiko left me to fully awaken. Boyiko is Emperor Zaiwei, that is, me. The strength of Emperor Zaiwei is very strong. If the strength of Emperor Zaiwei is compared to the vast ocean, I am now a small lake. If all the power of Emperor Zaiwei pours towards my small lake, it will burst the small lake. So I can only use a step-by-step approach to transfer power to me. Slowly, my small lake can turn into a vast ocean, and this process will not last long. The immortal killing sword can no longer be used. I quickly took back the immortal killing sword. If this continues, I will probably be sucked into a mummy. When Tang Snake saw me putting away the immortal killing sword, the fear in his eyes instantly disappeared without a trace. It roared, then charged at me again. I used the power of the 9 Eyes Heaven Realm and disappeared instantly. Soaring Snake instantly lost its target and started to look around. I appeared on Tenglong's head, holding Jingxiao in my hand. Compared to the immortal killing sword, and the Jingxiao, I feel comfortable using it. I circulated the profound energy in my body and gathered all the profound energy into the Jingxiao sword. I slashed at Tengshi without any hesitation. A golden sword energy shot through the air and struck towards Soaring Snake's neck. Just hear a puff. The scales of the dragon were cut off by me, and a shocking scar appeared on the neck of the dragon. It roared, its huge body began to struggle wildly, and its strong inertia directly threw me out. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1666. I directly used 9 Eyes Heavenly Domain in the air to reduce all nearby areas to my domain. In this way, I could easily avoid Soaring Snake's attack. What's really threatening to me is that Soaring Snake is not a turtle. Because the turtle is huge, it cannot move in the abyss at all, so as long as I destroy the Soaring Snake, everything will be fine. I took a deep breath to mobilize the Zaiwei Zhenyuan in my body, intending to use the Zaiwei Zhenyuan to protect my body and then fight Soaring Snake. The Soaring Snake is not a tiny bit smaller than the Divine Turtle, but it is very huge to me. If it is touched by the Soaring Snake, I will either die or be injured. A lavender light emerged around me and illuminated the entire abyss. When Tengshi saw Zaiwei's true energy, her huge eyes trembled crazily, and immediately there was a strange look in her eyes. Then something shocking happened. The snake was lying on the ground as if it was saluting me. Such a change made me slightly startled. What is going on? Before I could react, a dazzling golden light suddenly emitted from the bodies of Tang Snake and Suanwu beneath me. Then it condensed in front of my eyes, and in the blink of an eye, a human-shaped shadow appeared in front of me. It was a young man wearing a black robe with Suanwu patterns embroidered on it. This is Suanwu's true form. Just when I was confused, the man suddenly spoke. You finally came. I was slightly startled and asked, do you know me? The man nodded, shook his head, and replied, I know him, but I don't know him either. It was Taigong Zhang who asked me to stay here and wait for someone with Zaiwei true essence. Zhang Zia arranged it? I asked, then did Zhang Zia tell you what you were waiting for me to do here? The man replied, Taigong Zhang told us to help you get through this difficult time. Help me get through this? It seems that Zhang Zia has already arranged everything. No wonder the gods and Sudaji both said that only I can come to this place, and only I can get the divine whip and the list of gods. Unexpectedly, the four great beasts are all on my side. Wait a minute, I seem to have killed Qinglong just now. I looked at Suanwu and said weakly, since you are here to help me, why didn't you tell me earlier? Qinglong was just killed by me. Suanwu's expression froze, then he smiled and said, don't worry, Qinglong will not die, it will appear at the critical moment. Hearing this sentence, I breathed a long sigh of relief. If all the four mythical beasts are helpers arranged by Zhangxia, then my next two doors shouldn't be too difficult. Suanwu continued, we have been waiting here for you for many years, and you finally showed up. Our mission is about to be completed. The coffin on my back was also arranged here by Zhangxia. He told me to let you and Sudaji enter it. Sudaji's three tails are in here. I nodded and looked up at the abyss. It was almost impossible for me to go up to this height. Suanwu seemed to see what I was thinking. He said to me, don't worry, I will send you up. You should inform Sudaji to come here as soon as possible. There is not much time left. Good. I replied, and then Suanwu entered his body, and Tengshi jumped up from Xianwu. I jumped on Tengshi's head, and then Tengshi took me and attacked into the air above the abyss. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 1667. Soon the snake took me to the top of the abyss. I stepped on the cliff and said to Tengshi, don't worry, I'll be back soon. Tengshi nodded, and I turned and left. When I came to the immortal killing gate, I stretched out my hand and pushed the immortal killing gate open. Sudaji and Cai Dai were waiting for me outside. When the two women saw me coming out, they let out a long sigh of relief. Lusu, are you okay? Kadi quickly came to me and asked with concern. I shook my head and replied, I'm fine. Then, have you got the immortal killing sword back? Get it back. Kaidi reached out and patted my shoulder and said, ouch. Lusu. I got it back alone this time. I smiled and told the two of them exactly what happened in the immortal slaughter sect. Sudaji nodded after hearing this and said, since you have taken the immortal killing sword, without further ado, we will enter the sky coffin immediately. Afterwards, Cai Dai, Sudaji and I entered the immortal killing sect again. Now that there is no immortal killing sword and there is not much evil energy in the immortal killing sect, Sudaji and Cai Dai cannot receive any harm in the immortal killing sect. Tengshi took us to the bottom of the abyss, and then Sudaji and I came to the black coffin. I looked at the huge black coffin in front of me and asked, what should I do after entering the sky coffin? Sudaji's expression became extremely serious. She doted on me and said, I want you to help me release all my compatriots from the sky coffin. I frowned and asked, do you want me to break the coffin? Sudaji shook her head and replied, no, my compatriots are just sealed in the sky coffin. You only need to remove their seals in the sky coffin. I suddenly realized, and a doubt slowly rose in my heart. I hesitated for a while and asked, everything in the sky coffin was sealed by me. I should have sealed your people in the sky coffin, right? That's right, Sudaji nodded and replied, you sealed it? I asked tentatively, since I sealed your tribe, you should hate me. Why did you cooperate with me in the end? Sudaji fell into silence. After a while, she let out a long sigh and said, actually, you are saving them. I became more and more confused, save them. Yes, Sudaji raised her eyes and looked at me and said, our Fox clan is too powerful. People in the God realm were afraid that our Fox clan would finally threaten them, so they took an encirclement and suppression action. You also know how powerful the gods are. How could our Fox tribe be their opponents? So you sealed my people in the sky coffin before they did. Although we lost our freedom, it was better than losing our lives. Powerful. Hearing this, I sneered in my heart. No matter how powerful a fox clan is, how powerful can it be? It is somewhat disgusting for the gods to behave like this. Sudaji continued, at that time, you also promised us that as long as you return to the sky coffin, you will send my people to reincarnation. This is a kind of relief for them. If there is an afterlife, they can also bid farewell to the identity of demons. Live in this world as a normal person. I nodded and said nothing more. Now I figured out what I had to do next, and that was to start doing it. After all, this is a promise I made to Sudaji that I cannot break. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 1668. Sudaji said to me, Lu Su, you and I will definitely be separated after we enter the sky coffin. We must try every means to reconcile, because only in this way can you and I save my people. I was stunned and asked, you said they are your tribe and they can still hurt us? Yes, they have lost their minds. Only by helping them unlock the seal can they return to normal. Lu Su, let me tell you in advance that there are many nine-tailed demon foxes in the sky coffin. Try to have as few conflicts with them as possible, otherwise things will change. It's very difficult to do. Okay, I get it. I nodded to Sudaji, then looked at Cai Dai and said, wait for me here obediently. I will come out in a moment. Cai Dai blinked at me and asked, Lu Su, have you forgotten that I can also enter the sky coffin? This sentence reminds me of all the time Cai Dai helped me in the sky coffin. Kadi has always lived in my body, but recently she has been active outside so much that I forgot about it. Kadi came to me and stretched out her hand to pat my shoulder and said, okay Lu Su, I will go in with you and I can still take care of each other. Don't forget that I helped before, you're very busy. Cai Dai really helped me a lot, and the situation in the sky coffin was unknown. Cai Dai was by my side and she could help a lot. Then, the colorful butterfly turned into a ray of colorful light and sank into my eyebrows. I glanced at Sudaji and said, let's go. Sudaji agreed. Sudaji and I came to the huge black coffin and found that the black coffin was sealed tightly. If you want to get in, you must open the coffin. Such a big coffin lid cannot be made by myself. Just when I was thinking about how to solve the problem in front of me, a figure slowly condensed in front of me. It's Suanwu. Suanwu smiled at me and said, I will open the coffin for you, and you can go in later. I thanked Suanwu, thank you very much. Suanwu waved his hand to signal me not to take this matter to heart. Immediately afterwards, Suanwu's figure disappeared, and the next second Soaring Snake flew in front of me. Soaring Snake used its huge snake head to push up the lid of the huge black coffin. A huge creaking sound echoed in the silent air. The giant black coffin was pushed open by a flying snake. Sudaji and I jumped down the gap without any hesitation. Endless darkness instantly enveloped me, all colors disappeared at this moment, leaving only rich darkness in front of my eyes. And the inside of this giant coffin was like a huge abyss with no end. I went straight down. I don't know how long it took, but I felt a frightening sense of oppression in the air. This feeling of oppression is exactly the same as the pressure in the deep sea. I felt like my limbs and bones were about to be crushed, and soon I couldn't hold on any longer and lost my will. Time passed by and I don't know how much time passed. I slowly opened my eyes and then stretched out my hand to rub my swollen head and looked around blankly. The whole world was gray and dark, and the surroundings were deserted, with no trace of green, and rugged rocks that could not be seen to the edge at a glance. I struggled to stand up. Is this the 7th floor of the sky coffin? At this time, Cai Dai's figure slowly condensed in front of my eyes, and in the blink of an eye Cai Dai was standing in front of me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 1669. Ciuser. I couldn't help but say as I looked at Cai Dai's cooing look. Cai Dai rolled her eyes and said, "What's wrong with me?" She looked around, her expression suddenly becoming serious. "Lu Su, the evil spirit here is so strong." I nodded and replied, "The evil spirit is really strong here, we have to hurry up." Kadi hummed and said nothing more. I looked around, feeling a little confused and not sure which direction to go. After thinking about it again and again, I decided to move towards the place with the most evil spirit. Sudaji also told me before that all her tribe members were sealed in the sky coffins, so the places with strong demonic aura should be where Sudaji tribe members are. This level of the sky coffin is completely desolate. There is no green at all. There is only yellow land and dry vegetation. In addition, there are jagged rocks in the desolation. These rocks are like huge monsters. Standing between heaven and earth, it makes people feel awe and horror. As we were walking, Kadi suddenly said to me, "Lu Su, I have always been curious about something." I looked at Cai Dai in confusion and asked, "What's going on?" Kadi blinked at me with her beautiful eyes and said, "I've always been curious about what your and Sister Tianxuan's children will look like." This sentence made me fall into silence. What kind of child will Su Tianxian and I have? To be honest, I have also thought about this issue. Well, I personally think that the child should be like your sister Tianxian, because your sister Tianxian is beautiful. As for the personality, a girl should be like your sister Tianxian, and a boy should be like me. Cai Dai continued to ask curiously, then do you want your children to be exposed to these? I know what Cai Dai is referring to. I thought about it and said, if I were still alive and had children in the future, I would never let them be exposed to these things. They just need to grow up healthy and I will do everything enough. I had a happy family before, but it was because of these messy things that everything was destroyed. If it were really possible, I would rather live an ordinary life for the rest of my life. Cai Dai looked up at the sky and let out a long sigh, saying, "I'm really looking forward to that time." But Cai Dai didn't say anything further, so I asked, "But what?" "Nothing." Kadi smiled and continued walking forward without saying anything else. I don't know how long we walked. Cai Dai and I entered a canyon. The mountains on both sides of the canyon towered into the clouds and were so bare that nothing could be seen. After walking out of the canyon, the demonic aura around him became more and more intense. The field of vision suddenly widened, and small mounds suddenly appeared in the desolation. There are so many small mounds that you can't even see them at a glance. "Lu Su, that seems to be not a small mound but a tomb." Cai Dai was right. The shape of the small mounds was very irregular, and the small mounds in front of them were in the shape of a triangle. It should be a grave. "Let's go take a look." As I said that, I pulled Cai Dai and walked towards the small mounds, but after taking a few steps, an invisible wall suddenly appeared in front of me. How is this going? Is it a barrier? I stretched out my hand and touched it, and then layers of blood-red ripples appeared centered on my index finger, slowly moving toward the surrounding areas. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 1670. It seems that I am heading in the right direction, otherwise there would be no barrier here. I don't know the consequences of breaking this barrier, but it is undeniable that if you want to go to those hills, you must cross the barrier. If it were other people facing this situation, they might be helpless, but I am different. I have the Nine Eyes Heaven Realm, and I can cross the barrier as long as I use the Nine Eyes Heaven Realm. After all, the Nine Eyes Heaven Realm is also a kind of barrier. Moreover, The Nine Eyes Heaven realm is more advanced than ordinary enchantments and is superior to all enchantments. Nine Eyes Heaven realm Junishan has the ability to teleport. Cai Dai raised her head and asked, Lusu, what should we do now? I smiled at Cai Dai, took Cai Dai's hand and said, don't worry, I have a solution. As soon as I finished speaking, I used Nine Eyes Heaven realm and disappeared instantly. When I reappeared, I was already opposite the bloody barrier. Lusu, you have really become stronger now. Cai Dai said in surprise. Isn't this nonsense? No one will stand still. I still remember that when I first met you, you tried every means to kill me. Cai Dai rolled her eyes and said, who told you to be like a weak chicken? The person who can become my master must be strong. Master, I raised my eyebrows and asked, then what I hear from you is that you now recognize me as your master? Cai Dai stretched out her hand and pinched me hard, and said, no. I, Cai Dai, have never recognized anyone as my master in my life. It hurts, I cried out in pain over and over again. Cai Dai let go of his hand and I said speechlessly, you are so cruel. You hit so hard. By the way, if I remember correctly, Cai Dai is also my name. I named it for you, right? Didn't you have your own name before? I know Cai Dai's identity, but I don't know Cai Dai's past. Moreover, she has never mentioned her past to me. Cai Dai was startled, then lowered her eyes and let out a long sigh, saying, no, I didn't have my own name before I met you. I was just a tool they used. They saw that I was strong, and you are so poisonous that you try every means to enslave me. In fact, the reason why I was so hostile to you at the beginning was because I thought that you, like everyone I met before, just wanted to use me. Cai Dai is the Kija Cai Dai Miao Zhang Holy Gu, and the toxins contained in her body are deadly. Looking at Cai Dai, I couldn't help but stretched out my hand and rubbed Cai Dai's little head, and said, everything is over. From now on, I won't care about whatever you want to do, but if you make a mistake I will still criticize you a few words. Kadi smiled at me and said, I knew you were the best. The people I met before never cared about my feelings. They only wanted to use force to manipulate me, which made me very disgusted. But it's different now, I have you, I have Sister Tianxian, and I have everyone. I never thought that the usually heartless Cai Dai would have such a sad past. At first, I thought that I would conquer the Kija Cai Dai after I became stronger, but later on, the process of getting along with Cai Dai made me realize that she didn't. It's as scary as it sounds, she's just a child. Okay. Let's not talk about this matter anymore, Lusu, let's leave quickly.